In this video, I want to give you an ultimate step-by-step guide of every step in the process of self-publishing books on the KDP platform. We're going to go through what's so great about self-publishing, as well as how to pick a niche, how to create a book, and then how to actually sell that book. Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome to my channel. Every single week, I share videos all about self-publishing books, and you're watching one of them right now. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me here. Now, although this video is going to be providing you with every step that you need to take your idea of self-publishing a book from just an idea, to actually published and selling. I am in the process of creating a much more in-depth and detailed course all about self-publishing books with a focus on low and medium content books. So if you are interested in creating a thriving self-publishing business, then there is a link down in the description box below where you can get onto the waitlist so that you are the first to be notified when the course is available. But for now, the step-by-step guide that I'm about to take you through is more than enough to get you started in starting your own self-publishing business. So let's get straight into this step by step. Firstly, what is KDP and how does it work? KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, and it is provided by Amazon as a platform for anyone who wants to self-publish their own books and sell them on the Amazon store. KDP is a print-on-demand service, which means you do not need to print or purchase your books in advance or buy bulk inventory of your books and store them anywhere or anything like that. Amazon will only print your book once a customer has actually purchased it. And once a customer does actually purchase your book, Amazon will print that book and then they will package it up and send it to the customer for you. Which brings us into the pros and cons of publishing books with KDP. And we'll first start with the pros. And the first pro is that you can get started publishing and selling books very quickly, very easily, and with a very low investment of money. Creating your account with KDP is free, and also it's free to publish any books with them. There is no limit to how many books that you can publish for free on Amazon KDP. There are fees for Amazon printing and shipping your book, as well as just having the ability to use their platform. But these fees are not upfront costs. They are taken out of the sale price after a customer has made a purchase. Another pro is that when you publish with Amazon KDP, you get access to their absolutely massive, extremely loyal customer base. Amazon attracts billions of potential customers every single month. And although you can pretty much purchase any product on the planet from Amazon nowadays, it actually did start off as a book selling platform way back in the 90s. These days, Amazon dominates the book industry. They are the biggest seller of books worldwide, and it is estimated that Amazon controls around 40% of print book sales in the United States, selling at least 300 million print books each year. You can make up to a 60% royalty for each of your books sold, which is a lot higher than the royalties you can receive if you publish your book through a traditional publisher. In fact, Amazon pays out over $250 million in royalties to self-publishers each year. Those figures are just mind-boggling, but it makes it very easy to see why Amazon is so attractive to self-publishers and why so many people see success with selling books on Amazon. But let's not forget about the cons, because there are pros and cons to everything. And the cons would actually have to be very similar to the pros. The fact that Amazon is so popular and has so many customers, so many people publish their books on Amazon. It is very competitive, and you really have to work to get your book noticed and to get it selling. But really, that's about it. I honestly feel like there are not too many cons when it comes to publishing books through Amazon KDP, and the pros far outweigh the cons. So what type of books can you publish? Well, pretty much anything. Here on my channel, I mostly talk about publishing low and medium content books, which are books that generally have no to little content in them in terms of actual words. These can be books like notebooks, journals, coloring books, puzzle books, activity books, and even books like logbooks and trackers. These that I have just listed are not the only types of low and medium content books, but they are some of the most popular ones on Amazon. But there are many other types of books that you can publish and sell. There are also high content books like fiction and non-fiction books. You can publish poetry books or comic books and children's picture books. Pretty much anything that can be put into a book format, you can publish. And so that is a very basic high-level explanation of what Amazon KDP is and how it works. It is a really great platform for anybody of any skill level, whether you've made a book before or you haven't, whether you want to publish blank journals or you want to write a fantasy fiction novel, and you can do it from most places in the world. But as simple as it sounds, which essentially it is a very simple, straightforward business to start, but there is actually also a lot that goes into it, especially if you actually want to sell books. As I mentioned just before, the majority of the videos on this channel are about low and medium content styles of books. So I will focus on those books or those types of books for the rest of this video, but most of the information that I am going to go over can really be applied to any type of book that you might want to publish. So let's go through the process of the things that you need to think about, the things that you need to research and decide on at the very beginning. The first thing that you will need to do is to decide what kind of book you want to make and publish. There's no way to decide this based on stats or figures or anything like that. You could choose a type of book just because you like those books. It could be dependent on your skill level and what you can make or what tools you have to allow you to make a book. It could be that you don't know exactly what type of book to make, but you want to make one that is just popular and sells well with Amazon's customers. And so once you have decided what kind of book you want to make, you'll want to start looking at niches. Within every type of book that you can make, there are different niches, sometimes called sub-niches, that you can create those types of books for. Let me show you. Let's look at coloring books, for example. If we search for just coloring books, it's going to give us a whole range of different topics that you can create a coloring book about. So if we just look for coloring books on its own, it's going to bring up food and snacks. We've got animals coloring book, cozy spaces, a kindergarten activity book focusing on unicorns, a mermaid coloring book for children. We've got a stress relief coloring book, oceans coloring book, monster trucks, creepy cutie. So you can see that under that broad niche or that broad keyword of coloring books, there are lots of smaller sub niches where you can target these smaller sub niches if you want, rather than trying to just pick a really broad generalized type of coloring book to create. So coloring book is sort of a big, broad, top level niche, and there are so many books under the niche of coloring book, and it's the same for most other niches. Puzzle books is also a big, broad, top level niche, and then under there you can break down the niches into smaller sub niches, which is usually to do with the type of puzzle, like word search, cryptograms, crosswords, Sudoku, and journals is another one, which is a big, broad, top-level niche, but under it are smaller sub-niches like gratitude journals, anxiety journals, travel journals, or dream journals. And so the idea here is that these big, broad, top-level niches are so big and you aren't really targeting anyone specifically. Because there is so much competition on Amazon, you need to be a little bit more specific with targeting a niche that's aimed at a smaller group of Amazon's customers. So instead of creating a coloring book targeting people who like coloring books, make an animal coloring book or a flower coloring book, or target a specific customer like kids aged 6 to 8. But you don't just come up with a niche off the top of your head. You want to do research to make sure it's a niche that Amazon's customers are searching for, that is popular with those customers, that those types of books are actually selling. There is no point spending all that time creating a book to just publish it and it doesn't sell because it isn't actually in demand by Amazon's customers. And there are a few ways that you can do your niche research, and one way is just by browsing Amazon. Just go through the categories down here on the left-hand menu and just look through the books that are popular there. Or just start typing something into the search bar like what we did earlier with coloring books and see what comes up. With that example of coloring books, once you start typing, it will bring a drop-down menu of other keyword searches. And this is searches that are common with Amazon's customers. And so once you have a list of sub-niches, do searches for each of those sub-niches. And the things that you are going to want to look for are the BSRs of the book or the bestseller ranks. And so what a bestseller rank is, it is a number given to every book in the Amazon store. And this number determines a book's popularity with Amazon's customers. So we can see here, this number is a bestseller rank, and this book ranks 778 out of all books on Amazon. This one here has a bestseller rank of 225. And so the lower that number, the better. You want that number as close to 0 as you can possibly get it. And the lower that number, the more books you are selling. And so what you want to look for is a good handful of books on that first page of search results with good bestseller ranks. Let's say you want to sell 500 books per month. You're going to want to see if there are books with bestseller ranks under, say, 10,000. If you want to sell 100 books a month, then look for bestseller ranks around 50,000 or less. Low bestseller ranks help us determine what books are selling, and the more books that have low bestseller ranks, the better. There are other ways to do your niche research, and if you want to go through the process a little bit quicker, you can use tools. There are a couple of them out there. BookBolt is one tool that helps you do niche research, which is specific to low content books. Helium 10 is another great tool to use, but I really do think it's a great idea to do most of your research on Amazon itself, because it just helps you really get to know the marketplace and the platform and the niches and the books within those niches and how Amazon's customers shop within each of those niches. And it's totally free. Once you have done your niche research and it's helped you decide what niche you're going to make a book for, something you can be doing at the same time as this is your keyword research. Keywords are going to be helpful for when you start publishing your books, for when you are deciding on titles and subtitles, or when you're setting up ads, if you want to do that for your books. And I say that it's a good idea to do it alongside your niche research, because when you are researching niches, you can be noting down keywords and start building up that keyword list so you don't have to go back and do it all again later from scratch. Now, your main keyword is going to be the title of your book. It's going to be that main keyword that you think people are going to be typing in to find books just like yours. So if you are publishing a flower coloring book, that should be the title of your book. Then you have your subtitle, which is going to have the next most relevant keywords to your book. After this, you are going to need keywords that go into the setup of your book, but are hidden from your actual listing on Amazon. And this is where a tool can come in handy to help you build up a list of keywords, more than you can get from just browsing the Amazon store, because you can't see the keywords other books are using other than the ones they are using in their titles. You can't see those extra keywords they're using in their listings or their ads unless you use a tool. Publisher Rocket is a great tool to get lists of keywords, as well as BookBolt and Helium 10, which I just mentioned before. Somewhere else that you can also create keyword lists from that I think most people don't think about or use, and it's completely free, is from the Amazon Ads platform. So if you go in and set up your ad account and then go in as if you were going to create an ad, but you don't actually have to create the ad, you can go through the keyword list in there and get your keywords and then just cancel out of the ad and not set it up. And now that you have your niche chosen and you're building your keyword list, you can start to actually create your book. And this part of the process is going to be different depending on the type of book you are going to make. A simple notebook can be made using a free program like Canva. Even a coloring book can be made using the free version of Canva. If you do have any graphic design or publishing programs like Photoshop or InDesign, these are a great choice because they are professional tools and will just make it easier to create a really high quality professional book. But it isn't necessary to go out and pay for all those programs, plus take the time to learn how to use them before you make a book. If all you have is access to Canva or Google Docs or something like that, then just get started with that. If you are publishing more specialized books, then you will most likely have to buy tools to help you to do that. This is most common with activity and puzzle books. If you want to make word search puzzle books or mazes, for example, to go into a kids activity book, then you will need to use a specialized tool to help you create these tools. I have lots of videos all about these puzzle tools and the ones that I think are the best ones to use. They are always linked down in the description box below under every video. There is also the option to purchase the interior pages of your book pre-made. It's not my first choice, and if you do go down this path, then I highly advise that you edit or change or add to that interior somehow. Ideally, you want to make it as unique as you can, and if you buy an interior that possibly hundreds of other people have also bought, then you want to add your own touch to it somehow. But you can purchase interiors of books from places like Creative Fabrica. They have a great range of products specifically for low and medium content books that are going to be published on Amazon KDP. And once you have created the inside pages of your book, you need to create the cover. The cover and the interior are going to be two separate files that you will upload into your KDP account, so make sure these are separate documents. Your cover is so important because it basically is what catches the customer's eye. Here are some tips for creating a cover for your book. Go onto Amazon and do a search, any random search, and just look at how small the pictures of the books are. You need to make sure your cover looks great at that small size and the customer can see what the book is about just from looking at that tiny thumbnail of your book. Take note of what it is that catches your eye when you are looking at these books. Then do a search for the niche that you are publishing a book in, and look at the covers in your niches. Is there a trend of the best-selling books in terms of, do they use a particular color on their cover? Do they use a particular style of font? Do they use specific elements on the cover? And I'm not saying go out and copy other people's covers, but sometimes in some niches, there are certain types of covers that sell a book better. And if all the best-selling books in a niche have similar styles of covers, their cover is probably a big reason, a big part of that. So if you are noticing certain elements on each cover, try to incorporate those elements, but still make something unique about your cover to help it differentiate itself from the other books. It's a really fine line between creating your cover to be what it is that Amazon's customers want in covers in certain niches, and not blatantly copying other people's covers. So making yours unique enough to be different, but not unique enough that it falls outside what customers expect and like and want on covers in that niche. I hope that all makes sense. Another tip, that if you really are not great at graphic design or cover design, get someone else to make the cover for you. I know that it's hard to spend money paying people to do things that you could technically do yourself, but if you can't create a cover that is as good as, if not better, than all the other covers in your niche, then don't do it yourself. Considering how important your cover is, it's crucial to get it right. Now, once you have your cover and your interior pages of your book all done, you can upload them into your KDP account. And this part should be fairly quick and easy because you should already have everything you need to get it done. You already have your keyword lists, and this is where they now come into use. You already have your title and subtitle crafted. Upload the 2 files, which is your cover file and your interior file. You will have to preview your book at this point, and if there is anything that doesn't meet Amazon's guidelines, maybe your margins aren't quite right or something, then it will tell you here and you'll have to fix anything before you can move on. But after you have uploaded your files, you then just need to pop in your pricing information and hit publish. Amazon will then review your book, make sure it meets its guidelines, and then once it's approved, it will be for sale in the Amazon marketplace. Depending on the type of book you are publishing, you may want to do some kind of launch. This is something that is usually done with high content books like fiction novels, but is something you can do with low and medium content books if you want. If you plan far enough in advance, you can be building up an email list or a following on social media to drum up excitement about your book coming out soon. You might even want to offer free digital copies of your book to people in exchange for a review once the book is available. If doing a book launch is something you are interested in doing, it's something you would want to start building up a few months before you are going to publish the book. So it needs some planning and some idea of when you're going to be publishing your book. It can involve scheduling some ads with blogs or websites or podcasts or YouTube channels, which you would need to organize in advance so they are ready to go out when you publish your book. If you're wondering what the purpose of a book launch would be and whether it's even worth it, the idea behind launches is to drum up enough excitement and interest in the book for when it is brand new and newly available on Amazon. What this does is it drives customers to your book immediately and hopefully generate immediate sales and reviews on your book. This gets the Amazon algorithm's attention and shows how much demand there is for this book straight out of the gate. If your book is getting sales right away, the algorithm will push your book out even more to more of its customers to ramp up sales even more. It can be very powerful for your book to be selling in those first few days that it is live on Amazon. Again, doing a book launch would depend on the type of book you are publishing. It probably wouldn't work or not be worth it with something like a low content book, like a notebook, for example, but it can be effective for more medium content books, like coloring books or activity books. And so you have published your book and launched your book, and now it's time to sit back, put your feet up, and watch the sales roll in, right? Unfortunately, no. For 99% of books, now is when the real work begins. Now you need to start marketing your books. Even if you did plan out a launch which brought in sales, you need to keep those sales coming in. And that means you have to be always promoting and marketing your books. There's lots of different ways that you can go about marketing your books, and it's a good idea to incorporate a few different ways because they are all going to have different time frames in which you will see results, and some will be free for you to do, some might be paid, and so you will have some shorter term types of promotion and longer term types of promotion. A longer term type of promotion is to build an email list. As soon as you can, start to build an email list because they have always been and still are the most effective way to promote a product. They take time to build up though. So this is something that is free for you to do, or mostly free. You just need to invest a little bit of time each week, staying in contact with your list, but always be working on building it up. and you'll be amazed at the kind of results that you can get after a year or so of building an email list. So this is a type of advertising that will give you results over the longer term. You're not going to get results immediately. This is the same with social media, which is also a great place to reach people interested in your books. TikTok currently works amazing for books, even low and medium content. I've shared many videos on my channel showing low and medium content books, like coloring books and journals, that see huge success from TikTok videos. Social media is also free to build up, but also takes a long time to build up to something substantial. But the goal of your social media should be to funnel those people to your email list. With social media, you don't really have any control over those people. And by that, I mean, it's up to them whether they decide to go on the platform that day. It's up to them whether they scroll by your post or stop and look. Social media platforms as well only show your post to a small percentage of the people who actually follow you, which does not make sense at all, since those people follow you because they want to see your posts. But anyway, that's the way it is. And then it's up to the person whether they want to interact with your posts or go off and look for your books or not. With emails, there is no one deciding whether your email is actually going to get to that person or not. If you send an email to someone, they are going to receive it. And something like 99% of people check their emails every single day, usually more than once, a lot of the times multiple times a day. Email marketing has a much higher conversion rate in terms of turning someone into a customer than compared to social media. So ideally, if you're building an email list, you want to find a way to get those people onto your email list. And then we have promotional methods that give you a much quicker result. And this is usually paid methods like advertising. There are lots of people who only run Amazon ads and don't do any other kind of marketing and promotion. And this can work quite well for some people. If you don't have or want to take the time to build an email list or social media accounts, no matter what I'm doing, I just like to diversify and have multiple different ways of generating customers just in case one of them stops working. And then you still have other ways of making sales, or at least sort of promoting and marketing your books. But if you want to see results immediately, run Amazon ads on your books. Doing this as soon as your book is published alongside a launch plan can work really well in the beginning, because ads can really boost what's already happening with your other promotional methods. You don't have to start off spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on ads. Pretty much everybody starts off spending just a few dollars a day, and then as they start to see more and more sales, they scale those ads and increase how much they are spending in line with how much they are selling and how much they're profiting. If you can give yourself a budget of, say, $5 a day, you can see really great results with that and then scale it up from there. And once you have each of these steps for your book, it's time to rinse and repeat. Create more books, a series of books, and continue to create books that your customers are going to love. There is a saying which goes, more books sells more books. And there is something that I say in so many of my videos, and that it is so much easier to sell a book to someone who has already purchased from you before, someone who already knows who you are or knows about your books, than it is to try to sell to someone who has never heard of you or your books before and has never bought one of your books before. If you create one book that people buy and love, it's highly likely that they will like more books that you publish. You also get access to extra features on Amazon when you have a series. You get extra links on your sales page, which takes a customer to your own sort of private storefront where they only see your books, not a bunch of other books by other people, like what happens in the search results, so they can't be distracted by other people's books. You can also run special sponsored brand ads if you are using Amazon ads, which you can only do with the series, and that places your ads right at the top of the search results pages above any of the other sponsored or organic listings. So creating a series can be a really powerful thing in so many different ways. Now, this was a long video, longer than normal for me, but I really wanted to give you as much information as I possibly could to get you started on your self-publishing journey, or if you just wanted to know more about it and how it all works to decide if it is something for you or not. Although I have provided a lot of quality information in this video, there is a link down in the description box below, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, to get on the waitlist for my course coming out soon. If you want even more detailed videos, even more detailed information on how to get through each of these steps that you need to go through to get started publishing and selling books. I really hope that you got something out of this video and that you did enjoy this little bit of a longer style of video. I'll be back for another video next week, just like usual, so I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.